All right, let's do that now. If you think that you have a difficult job, Peter, sit down if you have. Gentleman's name is Peter Connors, and you are an electrician by trade, correct?
That's right.
And where are you presently working, Peter?
Well, we're working on top of the World Trade Center, working on the antenna system.
Okay, the antenna system, and how high is the World Trade Center?
Well, the top of the antenna is around 1,700 and something feet.
1,700 feet. Are you up there with any supports at all?
Well, depending. Like on the inside, you can climb the interior, but when we work on the outside antennas, sometimes you have to clip on and use a belt. And then there's sometimes when you just can't.
Yeah. Is that frightening? I know that's a dumb question, but is it frightening to be that high up off the
I'm sure everybody thinks about it, but you never think you're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Assume, you know.
Has anyone ever been hurt up there?
On our particular job, we've been lucky.
Yeah.
Other jobs, yes.
How about when they were building the World Trade Tower?
Well, there were a few people killed during that.
Yeah. We got some photographs here. Do you ever get dizzy?
Oh, yeah.
And how do you counteract that?
Don't move.
Okay, we have, this is Peter. This gives you an idea of the perspective of...
That's about the typical view you would get from up there every day.
Good heavens. What about wind?
Well, that's a big problem we had a lot of times. Sometimes when you're working up there and you have something disconnected or you're in a spot, we've had days where it got so windy you have to just kind of hang out and wait for it to calm down.
What kind of movement do you get when the wind is blowing up that high?
Oh, the tower moves. There's no question. You know?
From like a foot, 6 inches?
Like if you're climbing, one particular day, if you're climbing up a certain height, the wind on some side will be windy, the other side will be nice and calm. Whereas if you're going from one ladder to another, it's actually blowing you back at points.
What about the rain? If you're up there, I guess this is actually the antenna of that you're working
That's one particular antenna on the roof.
And this goes up higher than that last view we saw, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if it rains, well, you just have you're unfortunate. You know, sometimes you're stuck in a situation where you have something apart, and you can't just leave it there, so you have to just sweat it out.
Why couldn't you just leave it there?
Well, if you left it there, it would blow off and land on somebody's head in the street, and there'd be a hell of a lot to explain on that.
Explaining it would be the most difficult part of that, is
the end of this job.
Have you ever dropped anything off, like a wrench or a soldering gun?
There's been articles that have come down here. Fortunately, nobody got hit.
Have you ever, I don't know how to put this delicately, but have you ever, like, spit over the edge just a...
Sometimes nature calls, you know, hey, what can you do? You know? What can I tell you?
Well,
it's raining.
That's a great inducement now for tourists
yes.
to go visit that. And finally, what do we have here?
This is a shot almost at the top when it was set in the last piece, and his ironworkers and electricians. It was a joint venture between the two.
Oh, brother.
And this is about what you would look at when you're working on top of it. It's about the typical view.
Any safety nets, any harnesses, anything like that other than when you're climbing?
No, you just have a safety belt. If you were to fall off the side, you would hang on a belt.
Do you guys, do you goof around at all? Do you go up to a guy and go, oh! Any of that?
Yeah, well, it keeps him awake.
Yeah. Do you enjoy that kind of work?
It gives you peace of mind. It's nice to be involved with something that not everybody can do. And it's just nice and quiet.
It does. It makes
kind of like a natural high up there. Nobody bothers you. It's kind of just peaceful.
Makes you very unique. Good money in that, Peter?
Not particularly. You know, we get no more than the average. You know.
This gentleman's name is Peter Connors, and he's been telling us about his occupation. And you think you get a bad job, you could be up on top of the tower spitting on people.
That's true.
We'll continue after a couple of minutes after you folks at home take a look at this. We'll be right back. Thank you, Peter.